More tough talk and personal attacks between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump tonight as the presidential nominees met for the final debate before the election.
That's my baby, you know, he's 27. That was my youngest son.
A heartbroken mother speaking out at a vigil for her son, who Lexington police say died in a shooting last weekend.
After a deadly shooting outside a Lexington restaurant, we look at the number of calls police have received in that area over the last year.
This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening to you. While our weather has been quiet across the bluegrass, it has been a stormy night in northern Kentucky.
And it looks like showers and storms could be moving our way tomorrow. We begin tonight with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey and your no-wait weather forecast.
Yeah, guys, the big change is just about upon us as we roll our way into the day tomorrow. We're going to notice those showers and thunderstorms really increasing. Now, today, Defender Radar Network started to pick up on some gusty thunderstorms in northern Kentucky, putting down a tremendous amount of rain. Had a lot of damage of some trees knocked down. Also had tornado warnings here in northern Kentucky a little earlier this evening. But the thunderstorms put down 2 to 3 inches of rain, and in some areas it is still raining. Flash flooding, a big concern here in northern Kentucky. Flash flood warnings are out for another hour and 15 minutes or so for far northern Kentucky. That does include the Covington, Independence area, and down toward the Florence area. Southeastern Indiana, showers, thunderstorms. We're not really worried about that stuff because it is staying just to our north. What we'll focus on, though, thunderstorms increasing back across parts of Arkansas, Missouri, and extending back toward the south. Future radars we take you through the overnight suggesting, as you would expect, those showers and storms stay to our north. But look at tomorrow morning. We start to get in on a scattering of showers and storms. Then, middle of the day, we're going to see an explosion of showers and storms across most of central and eastern Kentucky. Some of those may even be on the strong side. We will track the thunderstorms and that big temperature crash, guys, with a new hour-by-hour forecast. The new numbers in at 11:13.
The final showdown before Election Day. Tonight, presidential nominees Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton met for their third and final debate in Las Vegas.
And while their discussion focused mainly on the issues, there were still plenty of fireworks and tense exchanges between the candidates. Danielle Nottingham has the latest in our top story at 11.
Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton sparred in their final debate over Clinton campaign documents WikiLeaks released. Clinton claimed Russian President Vladimir Putin is responsible and is trying to influence the election.
Putin, from everything I see, has no respect for this person.
Well, that's because he'd rather have a puppet as president of the United States.
No puppet.
And it's pretty clear.
You're the puppet.
Trump repeated his call for a wall to keep Mexicans from crossing the border illegally.
And once the border is secured, at a later date, we'll make a determination as to the rest. But we have some bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out.
The battle turned personal, with Trump targeting Clinton's email scandal and Clinton pointing to sexual assault allegations against Trump.
Donald thinks belittling women makes him bigger.
She destroyed 33,000 emails criminally, after getting a subpoena from the United States Congress.
10% of voters are still not fully committed, and this was their last chance to see the candidates battle it out. Both candidates were asked if they would accept the outcome of the election.
I will look at it at the time. I'm not looking at anything now. I'll look at it at the time.
I, for one, am appalled that somebody who is the nominee of one of our two major parties would take that kind of position.
While they won't square off again, the candidates will likely stay on the attack with less than 3 weeks until Election Day. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Las Vegas.
Politico reports more people are registered to vote this year than ever before. For the first time, voter registration has topped 200 million in the U.S.
Tonight, friends and family gathered to pay tribute to a young Lexington man who died in a weekend shooting. Police say someone shot 27-year-old James Blair early Sunday morning in the Chase parking garage downtown. A vigil was held for him in the Winburn neighborhood tonight. New at 11, WKYT's Garrett Weimer talks to Blair's mother.
That's James right there, and all siblings and their families right there.
To Doreen Blair, these pictures are priceless.
There I am smiling and cheesing and telling everybody, come see James, you know, come and meet him.
They remind her of memories she'll now treasure forever. She says it still doesn't seem real. Her son is gone.
I couldn't believe it. I screamed and I hollered and I just was crazy. That's what I want to call myself, you know, because that's my baby, you know. He's 27. That was my youngest son, and we always stayed in touch every day, you know. It's just hard, you know.
Hard as well for two young boys, 2 years old and 7 months old, now growing up without their father. Family and friends say Blair was a good man. The big crowd that showed up at a candlelight vigil, a testament to just how much he meant to this community.
Everybody loved him. He was a good guy. He really was. Not just because it was my son, because he just was a good guy. It's going to be so hard. It is. It's going to be so hard.
We come, oh Lord, we need thee.
After a violent weekend in Lexington for this hurting family, enough is enough. They're ready for the killing to stop.
We hope and pray it does. We hope it's awareness again, you know. We hope and pray it does.
I pray we'll all be ready
In Lexington,
for his return.
Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Investigators say they have identified a possible person of interest. Police have not made so far, though, any arrests.
Today, Lexington police arrested a fourth person in connection to the shooting death of 15-year-old Trinity Gay. Police charged 20-year-old Lamont Williams with wanton endangerment. 3 other men arrested Sunday face the same charge. Police say Trinity was caught in the crossfire of a shootout near the Cookout restaurant on South Broadway Sunday morning. And as WKYT's Monique Blair found, police were called to that area multiple times for different crime reports over the last year.
I actually just moved to Lexington a couple months ago, and that was one of the things that drew me here, was that it feels really safe.
Ever since the shooting happened just before 4 o'clock Sunday morning, Lexington police tell us they have increased patrols out here on South Broadway. So we did a little digging to find out just how often police have been called to this surrounding area in the past year, specifically to businesses that stay open later than 2 a.m. We requested data from 5 different South Broadway restaurants, 3 of which stay open 24 hours a day. 2 of them, which includes Cookout, stay open until 4 a.m. or later on the weekends. These 5 locations are within 3/4 of a mile of one another. In the past year, police were called to Cookout 4 times for assault, including the call on Sunday. Each of those calls coming in between the hours of 11 p.m. and 3:30 a.m. Of the 4 remaining restaurants, there was only 1 other call for assault in the past year. 4 of the 5 restaurants, including Cookout, each had multiple calls for criminal trespass, disorderly conduct, and drunkenness. The majority of those calls happening between the hours of 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. So what does this mean? Well, we put the statistics aside and asked Lacey Garvin, who lives just a few feet from Cookout, how she feels about this part of town.
I do feel very safe out here. I've lived here for 3 years, and as I told everyone that keeps asking me, this could happen anywhere, and you know, it's been safe this far. Nothing has happened here other than that.
In Lexington, Monique Blair, WKYT.
2 of the men charged in connection to the Trinity Gay shooting, Chazare Taylor and DeMarquio Taylor, were each released from jail today on a $5,000 bond.
A man died after police say he shot a police officer at a home in Paris. It happened last night along Brent Street. Police say they went to the home to talk to 34-year-old Charles Stidham about a burglary investigation, but they say he fired shots, hitting a Paris police officer. Police say the bullet hit the officer's bulletproof vest, and he was not injured. Police sources identify him as Abdullah Bolat. Police say that the shooting sparked a standoff, which lasted hours. They say they later had an exchange of gunfire with Stidham and then found him dead inside that house. During the standoff, police evacuated some nearby homes as a precaution.
When I came out and looked out the door, I mean, this whole street was just covered in cops.
Wow.
It was, I mean, they were hiding behind cars and everything else.
Bourbon County Detention Center records show that Stidham had been booked on multiple charges the last few years, including assault and theft. A Scott County man accused of killing his parents nearly a decade ago thinks the jury in his new trial should hear about another possible suspect in the case. According to the Georgetown News Graphic, attorneys for Anthony Gray want a judge to allow testimony about a man that Gray claims bragged about killing James and Vivian Gray back in 2007. Gray is scheduled to go on trial for the 3rd time next year. His first trial ended in a hung jury. He was convicted of murder in the second trial, but the Kentucky Supreme Court later overturned the conviction, ruling a confession used in the trial was coerced.
Firefighters think an abandoned campfire in the Red River Gorge spread, sparking a larger fire. That fire is still burning tonight along the Auger Ridge Trail in Powell County. It's also forced part of the trail to be closed. Firefighters say that fire has burned about 2 acres and they have half of it contained. They say the recent dry weather has helped fuel that fire.
It was actually burning in an area that burned 6 years ago. It was so hot that it even killed the large, mature, overstory trees. With this fire, we still have some dead and down material, so there are a lot of ground fuels.
Firefighters think it will take them a few more days to get that fire under control.
2 young Eastern Kentucky brothers recovering tonight after being injured in a dirt bike crash. What their teachers and classmates are doing to try and support them in 9 minutes.
And then the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has some new recommendations of who should be tested for the Zika virus.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
You want to find the cold front across the Ohio Valley? Well, look for the precipitation. You know we can look at the temperature map, but where we're getting that big contrast in thermometers, also where we're seeing the majority of the showers and thunderstorms for now. Tomorrow, it's a different story. Look outside at the late evening numbers. Second night in a row, Lexington, Frankfort, we have been 70 or better at 11 o'clock on a day that featured a record high in Lexington. 65 Covington. Now let's find the cold front. 59 Indianapolis, Chicago 57. Yet low 70s across the Bluegrass State. It's 77 in Paducah right now, by the way. Those thunderstorms setting up along that initial boundary into northern Kentucky this afternoon, putting down a tremendous amount of rain. We had all kinds of problems into northern Kentucky earlier this evening with some severe thunderstorms. Even had a couple of tornado warnings. No tornadoes, but some wind damage here in the parts of Boone and Kenton counties. And additional thunderstorms may cause flash flooding into some of those same areas. And look what is following along the same path. It's rare in October for me to talk about training thunderstorms that are moving over the same piece of real estate. But that's exactly what's going on right now to our north. Around here, we've got to wait for this low pressure to team up with a colder shot of air tomorrow into tomorrow night to get in on some much needed rains across central and eastern Kentucky. Temperatures tomorrow will be all over the place. Farther north and west, cooler you're going to be. Farther east and southeast, you're going to be a little warmer, and you will have the best chance for a strong thunderstorm. Here's a little summary of how we break this down over the next 3 days. Rain, thunderstorms tomorrow, not going to be all day. You're going to wake up and chances are it's not raining when you wake up. They'll take the rain gear. You can thank us later in the afternoon as the showers and storms arrive in earnest. Falling temperatures, morning showers, gusty winds, colder on Friday. 30s to begin the day on Saturday. That's the start of our weekend. New hour-by-hour forecast. Early tomorrow morning, dry the farther east and southeast that we go. But as we go into the afternoon through the evening, watch the rains expand. It could be heavy at times later tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. So again, tomorrow morning may not be raining where you are. That'll change, though, as the day goes on. Friday afternoon, rain in the morning. Temperatures into the afternoon, generally into the middle 50s on a gusty northwesterly flow. You can see those clouds coming in from the north. 40s, high school football fans, will transition to 30s to start out the day on Saturday. How about your Saturday afternoon? 50s again with strong northwesterly winds. Computer models kind of all over the place and trying to pinpoint those thunderstorms. You can get anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 inch to upwards of 1 inch plus in some of the thunderstorms that are a little stronger. Now the winds, and you can see the cold front as it gets into town. These are the gusts tomorrow afternoon. Hold on to the steering wheel, especially those high profile, those big trucks if you're out driving. Tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, those gusts will likely top out 30, 35. I could see a 40-mile-per-hour gust tomorrow evening. Into Friday, that's a chilly wind that is blowing from the northwest. You know what? That same wind will carry us right on into the day on Saturday. So even with sunshine Friday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, and mid and upper 50s, it's going to feel chillier than that. Thank you, wind, 15 to 20 miles per hour. You get into Sunday early next week, looks really good, normal for a change. Though tomorrow's an active day, guys, with thunderstorms developing throughout the day.
A day to be watching it, right?
Absolutely.
Chris, thank you.
You bet.
The most important question of the night, which candies will be most popular with trick-or-treaters? Who could be coming to your front door looking for those? What a new survey found in 8 minutes. 2 young Knott County brothers injured in a dirt bike crash are receiving some support from their teachers and classmates.
Family members say Isaiah Whitaker and his younger brother Malachi were riding a dirt bike near their home when it crashed. Both children were rushed to the hospital. Malachi was given some stitches and released, but Isaiah had to be taken to UK Hospital for surgery. Teachers and the principal at Car Creek Elementary School reached out to the family to make sure that the boys would be okay, and their classmates at Car Creek Elementary School made get well cards for them.
There's test scores and there's all these different things, but when you get right down to it, you know, we want the school to be someplace where kids feel safe and loved and appreciated.
Family members say Isaiah has been released from the hospital and they hope both boys will be back at school soon. New tonight, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention now recommends all pregnant women who've recently been to Miami be tested for the Zika virus. Miami-Dade County, Florida is the only area in the continental U.S. where mosquitoes have been spreading the virus. Health leaders say pregnant women who have lived in or visited Miami since August 1st should be tested, even if they haven't had any symptoms. Doctors say Zika infection during pregnancy can lead to brain-related birth defects in the baby.
New tonight, police in Laurel County have arrested a man after they say his car hit a house. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office charged 44-year-old John Paul Sizemore with DUI and leaving the scene of an accident. About 1 this afternoon, deputies say Sizemore lost control of his car on Hawk Creek Road. They say the car ran off the road, hit a mailbox, and then a house. No one was injured. Deputies say Sizemore walked away after the crash, but they soon found him nearby. They say he admitted smoking marijuana. The Valley View Ferry will be closed for part of the day on Saturday, so Lexington police and firefighters can recover some cars from the Kentucky River. Now, Lexington police say the cars were spotted in the river earlier this year, but they are not associated with any investigation. Police say they just had to wait until water conditions were ideal and firefighters could fit the removal of these cars into their training schedule. The ferry will be closed between 10 Saturday morning and 2 o'clock that afternoon.
All right, if you're planning to hand out candy for Halloween, a new survey has found which candies are most popular with trick-or-treaters. Influencer.com asked 40,000 people around the country. The survey found Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are the most popular candy. Kit Kats and Butterfingers are close behind. As for Kentucky, the website found Whoppers are the most popular candy in the Bluegrass State. I can tell you when I was a child, Whoppers went straight to the, I don't want those
really?
categories.
Didn't like those?
So, yeah. What about you?
Oh, I'd take them all. Take them all.
Yeah, you're not
I
picky.
miss Halloween. I'm like a little kid. All right, just ahead, UK women's team, Rob, picking up big commitment.
Well, Matthew Mitchell hauling in a post player out of Nashville. She has a familiar name. Also from Nashville, a wrap on SEC Media Days. How good is this UK team? Could it be Cal's best team? Sports is next. Stay with us. No surprise that Kentucky is the pick to win the SEC at the league's annual media day in Nashville. Brian Milam was on hand to hear what was said, and he wraps it up from Bridgestone Arena.
Late this afternoon, John Calipari, Isaiah Briscoe, and Isaac Humphries came to Bridgestone Arena where the SEC Basketball Media Day was held, and the Cats drawing the largest crowd of all of the media of any team today. Now, we hear time and time again from Cal how good this team can be. The players say that it's competitive in practice, they're fast, they're long, but another word that came to the forefront today, scary, as in scary good.
Yeah, like the fact that we can, be really good outside and score and penetrate and pitch out, but then also we can post up and score with that aspect is, yeah, there's really no way. It's going to be hard for other teams to defend because, if they take something away, we've got the other thing. If they take that away, then we've just got something else.
I think that's how we'll be a great defensive team, and I know that it'll start with me, and I have no problem with that, and I know that Malik and Fox see me sticking my nose in there and locking down. I'm sure they'll follow right after, and then so on with our bigs.
They're good, but we got to see if they're alpha dogs like you. And then they went, thank you. And let me just say this, there's arguments in between the teams. The guys from here will tell you. The 12 team says all you dudes can say all that you want. 38-0, you could say what you want. We're the only ones to win a national title. Enough said, bye.
So we will see just how scary good this UK basketball team is throughout the season. But up first will be the blue-white game this Friday night. Reporting from Nashville at the SEC Basketball Media Day, I'm Brian Milam, WKYT.
Thank you, Brian. According to the Herald Leader, UK women's coach Matthew Mitchell picking up a top 100 recruit tonight, Dory Harrison out of Nashville. Harrison is a 6'3" post player, younger sister of former Tennessee star Isabel Harrison. She's ranked the number 14 post player in the country by ESPN. Harrison picking the Cats over Vandy, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Syracuse, and Virginia Tech. Mark Stoops and his team still have 2 more days to get ready for Mississippi State Saturday night. The Cats ran it really well in their last game against Vanderbilt. 258 yards on the ground. They threw it for only 49. They will need to do whatever it takes this weekend.
We got to do whatever it takes to win the game, and it's great because we have run the ball, but you can get in that situation where you don't run it very well, and then you got to throw it to be successful. So we're trying to take whatever they give us, and we want to run the ball, but we also need to pass the ball, and we've got to be successful, and we've got to be efficient when we do that.
In Toronto, Game 5 of the American League Championship Series, the Indians trying to close it out. They waste no time as Mike Napoli gets extra bases to left center. Francisco Lindo scores the first run of the game. On to the third, Carlos Santana tagging Marco Estrada. That one is gone to center, 2-0 Cleveland. And in the fourth, the Indians had another run on the solo homer by Coco Crisp. That made it 3-0. Rookie Ryan Merritt and 3 relievers combining for a shutout. Troy Tulowitzki popping out to end the game. And that did it. The Indians win their first pennant since 1997. They go to the World Series. And in the NLCS, the Cubs coming back at Dodger Stadium tonight. In the 7th inning, they lead it 10-2. So, will it be Cubs Indians or will it be Dodgers Indians? We'll be right back.
The Late Show with Stephen Colbert is less than a minute away here on WKYT. Tonight's guests include Hugh Laurie.
The calm before the storm, at least in central Kentucky.
Yeah,
right?
we missed a lot of the action today. That's not going to be the case tomorrow. Showers, thunderstorms, gusty winds, temperatures into the 70s, but a big drop comes later tomorrow. Look at Friday and Saturday. Highs in the 50s. Morning rain on Friday. The afternoons look really good if you bundle up. 35 for a low on Saturday. No frost, though, because it's going to be so windy.
Well, that's some good news,
There
at
you
least,
go,
right?
yeah.
A little bit of good news, yeah.
Thanks for watching tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Good night.